Good morning everyone. So today we'll be going to start a new chapter, that is chapter 4, other construction materials. So in this chapter we will be discussing about what is timber, what are the classification of the timber, what is the structure of the timber, or what do you mean by seasoning of a timber, what are the characteristics of the good timber, what is clay products and its classifications, what are refractory materials and its classifications, what are the properties and uses of refractory materials, and what are the uses of cast iron and wrought iron. Okay, so these are the things we will be reading in this chapter. Okay, so first we will be reading about timber. As all of us know, timber is known as wood. Okay, the word timber is derived from an old English word, that is timberian, which means to build, and as I have told you, that timber denotes wood which is suitable for building or carpentry on the various engineering purposes. Okay, you can see here the diagram I have been shown here. This is houses. This is the picture showing the houses that is made up of timber or wood, and this you can see this is made up of wood. Okay, and this you can also see this is in the house. Okay, this is made up of a wood. Okay, so these are the materials which have been used with the help of a timber. So we can say that the word timber is derived from an English word that is timberian, which means to build, and it denotes as wood which is suitable for building or carpentry on the various engineering purposes. So next we will be studying about what are the uses of timber. Okay, so as we know, timber has been used in our daily to daily life purposes, and first we have been used in building constructions, construction of bridges and boats, furniture and instruments, railway coach wagons, formwork of cement concrete. So these are the uses of timber we have been used. Okay, so next we will be reading about general process of obtaining timber, as where we will get or where we will obtain the timber. Okay, as we all know, in the jungle we know the structure of a tree, that is crown, trunk, or we can say roots. There are three types of structures, three parts, that is trunk, crown and roots. Okay, so from the jungle we get the trunk part. After that it has been cut, and after it has been placed in a place. Okay, after that it has been transported to the place where it will take a shape, proper shape. It has been taken to a factory. After that it has been given a proper shape to the timber or the wood. After that this timber or wood is ready for the use of any construction purposes, that you can use building for construction purposes, or you can say furnitures, railway coach wagons, or any type of purposes. These timbers are ready for the use. Okay, so these are the general process of obtaining the timber. So next we will be reading about what are the classifications of the trees. So there are two classifications of the trees. First is exogenous trees, second is endogenous trees. So in the exogenous trees, for example, first is deodar, sal, teak, kale. These are the example of exogenous trees. And in the endogenous trees there is bamboo and palm. Okay, so there are two types of, that is first is exogenous, second is endogenous. So next is in the exogenous trees, we will be reading about exogenous trees. So in the exogenous trees, these trees are grows outwards and increase in the bulk by the formation of successive annual rings on the outside under the bark. Okay, so we can say that these trees are always grows outside and increase in the bulk by the formation of successive annual rings on the outside under the bark, and these rings are known as annual rings. Okay, and the examples of exogenous trees I have already told you. First is deodar, chit, sal, kale, teak. Okay, these are the example of exogenous trees. Also we can also say that these rings are, I have told you, these rings are known as annual rings because one such ring is added every year. Okay, so this is known as annual rings. So the exogenous trees may be further classified into two categories. First is coniferous trees, next is deciduous trees, or we can say that is broadleaf trees. Okay, so in these coniferous trees, so if we will see the coniferous trees, conifers are known as evergreen trees. Okay, and the leaves of these trees do not fall until ones are grown. Okay, new ones are grown. These trees of the leaves do not fall in the coniferous trees. Okay, as the trees bear cone-shaped fruits, so these are named as coniferous. Okay, so we can say that these exogenous trees are again further classified into two types, that is coniferous and deciduous. Deciduous also known as broadleaf trees. So in the coniferous trees, it is known as evergreen trees, and these leaves of the trees do not fall until the new ones are grown. And these trees are cone-shaped fruits because that's why they are known as coniferous. Okay. Next is deciduous trees or broadleaf trees. In these trees are also known as broadleaf trees, and the leaves of these trees falls in autumn and new ones appear in spring season. Okay. So we can say that the leaves of these trees falls in autumn and the new ones appear in spring season. The timber for engineering purposes is mostly derived from the deciduous trees, and these trees are also hardwoods which are usually coarse-grained, strong, heavy, dark and durable. Okay, so we can say that these deciduous trees do not show annual rings. Okay, so deciduous trees are known as broadleaf trees, and these trees fall in autumn and new ones appear in spring season, and these trees are very hard, strong and heavy and durable. Okay, so next is we will be reading about endogenous trees. So endogenous trees, these trees are grows inward or we can say endwards. These trees mainly grows in inward direction it grows, or we can say endwards it grows. The stem of these trees are too flexible and thus they are not much suitable for the engineering works. Okay, so endogenous trees are not suitable for the engineering work, or we can say these trees are not work for the engineering purposes. Okay, so next we will be reading about structure of the tree. As I have discussed with you the structure of the tree, there are three main parts, that is trunk, crown and roots. Here you can see the diagram here, that is first is crown, this is the roots and this is the trunk. Okay, and this is, here you can see this is the branch part of the tree. Okay, so there are three parts, first is trunk, crown and the roots, and the structure of the tree is divided into categories. First is macrostructure, second is microstructure. Okay, so we will first read about macrostructures. Here you can see the diagram of macrostructures I have been shown here. Here you can see the diagram. Here this is the macrostructures. Okay, what do you mean by macrostructures? The structure of wood visible to the naked eye or at a small magnifications is called as macrostructures. We can say that the structure of the wood visible to the naked eye or at a small magnifications is called as macrostructures. Okay, you can see here the diagram. I have shown you the diagram of macrostructures. This is the outer bark and this is the inner bark. This is the sapwood. This is the medullary rays. You can see here the medullary rays. These are the ridge, medullary rays, and this is the pith. Okay, and this is the heartwood. Okay, and this is the cambium layer. This one is the cambium layer. Okay, so we can say that the structure of the wood and it is visible to the naked eye or at a small magnification is known as macrostructures. Okay, so these are the components of the macrostructures. We can say first is pith. We'll first read about pith, then heartwood, then outer bark. This you can see this one you can see the outer bark, and this is the inner bark. You can see this inner bark, and this is one of the sapwood, and these are the medullary rays. Okay, and this is the cambium layer. You can see here this is the cambium layer. So this we will be reading in the next slide. Okay, thank you.